Hey, welcome to another episode of the Lazy Guy's Guide to Cooking. So if you're a fan of Chinese and Japanese food, tonight we're going to make beef teriyaki. But instead of putting it onto all the little skewers and going through this whole big process, I'm going to show you how to just condense it down, 2 minutes, easy peasy. Let's get going. For the teriyaki sauce, there are really just three main ingredients. We have soy sauce. I prefer the low sodium version. We have mirin that you can get at the local grocery store or at Whole Foods. And crushed red pepper and sugar. Actually, the crushed red pepper, I said three ingredients. The crushed red pepper is just something that I throw in for a little kick after the fact, but you can leave that out. Okay, now, not only am I the lazy guy, but I'm also the impatient guy. So with the soy sauce, I like to pull the little plastic cap off so I can get right down to business. It's just 1 cup. The mirin, 1 cup. And then the brown sugar, you can use traditional box of brown sugar, but I found this at the store today, and keeping with my theme of the lazy guy, just portable, it's nice, it's easy. It's ½ a cup of brown sugar. That's really all there is to the teriyaki sauce. Now, like I said, I personally prefer to throw in some red pepper flakes, give it a little bit of kick. That's entirely optional. So now we just stir it up, and then we'll pour it over the beef. Okay, now for the meat. Now, a traditional teriyaki skewer is a flank steak. You'd go to your butcher shop, get thin cut flank steaks, you get the little wooden skewers, and you sit there for hours skewering all these things. Screw that. Here's what the lazy guy does, okay? You can go get flank steak if you want, or I prefer sirloin beef tips. They have it at every supermarket, every butcher shop. It's easy to get, and it's a good tasty cut of meat. Now, usually I get traditional beef tips, but today all they had was this thin sliced meat. I'm the lazy guy. I went last minute. It is what it is. You get what you get. But it will make it work. Now, all we do is cut it into little strips like this. You know, maybe ½ an inch in diameter, maybe 1 inch or 2 long. And throw it in a Pyrex bowl. Okay, so once your meat is cut, you put it in the Pyrex bowl, and we just pour in the teriyaki sauce. And then we will we'll let it marinate for about an hour in the refrigerator. Okay, so we've let our beef marinate for about an hour, and what we're going to do now is we're going to broil it. But at the same time, we're going to get our rice ready. I won't read you the instructions, it's on the box, you can figure that out yourself. I like to personally use a brown rice, and I use minute rice. Now, I had this whole conversation with my girlfriend who thought that you had to, that, you know, from the box was crap. But as it turns out, side-by-side taste test, it's great. Personally, I like the brown rice myself. It takes you about 5-8 minutes. I think it's a little bit fancier than the white rice. Just kind of kicks it up a notch, but it's the same level of effort. So I'm boiling water here for the brown rice. And then what I've done for the asparagus now is I put just a little bit, we're going to steam it. I put just a little bit of water in the pan. And then since we're doing an oriental thing with the teriyaki beef, I've decided that I pulled a little sesame oil out of my pantry here. You don't have to do this, but I will throw a little sesame oil in there to give it a little kick, you know, a little bit of oriental flavor. Love the flavor of sesame. Now, what we're going to do is throw the asparagus in there. Very simple. I just kind of rinse it real quick. We already cut the ends off before. I just kind of rinse it off. Throw it in the pan. If you do have a small pan, you can cut them in half, which I think is what I'm going to do here real quick. Grab a knife, cut them in half because they're not going to fit. I just arbitrarily grabbed this. This is probably an 8-inch pan, but I have a 10-inch I could have used. Okay, then throw the cover on it, and we just steam it. And the water is boiling here. I put the rice in, stir it down, and now I'm going to broil the beef. Now, after maybe every 5 minutes or so, you're going to need to flip the beef because it broils and it's broiling over the top. I just open it up a little bit here. I use long metal tongs to reach in because the flame is up top and you don't want to burn yourself, so kind of pull the shelf out a little bit and just flip it over, and you can see it's all brown and cooked on the top, but then it's all raw underneath. So we'll flip it like maybe 4 times. There's no exact science to this. But if you're on a date and you're entertaining, it looks impressive as hell. I don't know. Okay, so now I have rotated the beef again. Just now, it's just about done. You do it to your liking. If you like a little bit more on the rear side, you could probably pull it out now. If you like it a little more medium, it's within about a minute of being ready. Meanwhile, I turned off the heat on the asparagus. I have an electric oven here, so when you turn off the heat, it still continues, you know, it's still hot, so it still keeps going. So I turned it off a little bit ahead of time, and then I'm just letting it kind of slowly just stay warm. But basically, that's ready. Smells fabulous. You smell the sesame. And the rice is basically done and just sitting here. Again, same thing. It's just on the warm element, staying warm. And just waiting now for the beef to be ready, which is pretty much any second now. Alright, the meat is just about ready. I'm going to give it 1 more minute just for my personal taste. Meanwhile, we've just started plating. So I put some asparagus and some rice. And then I whipped together a salad that was really, again, I was just walking through the grocery aisle and it was Bag-O salad from Dole. I chose one with mixed green, so it looks all fancy and shit. Threw in a cucumber, a tomato, we have a nice salad. Looks like I slaved for hours on it. Alright, now we'll take the meat out and time to eat. Okay, so here we have the finished product. Now this is probably one of the longer videos, but quite honestly, if you stop and you break it down, if I'm alone and just whipping this together, I have 3 ingredients. I have soy sauce, mirin, and some brown sugar. Throw it in a bowl, mix it up, throw it over some meat, stick it in the refrigerator, let it marinate, go off, do something else. Come back, throw it in the broiler, let it go for 20 minutes, and then just whip together a few sides. I use minute rice and asparagus. How hard was that? Throw that with a little bit of water in a pan, let it steam, and we're done. Nice dinner. For a full list of ingredients and directions, you can visit our website at lazyguycooking.com.